last year, according to latest figures. Contractors on the east side work around the clock ahead of the beach season. Non-melanoma skin cancer is the most common type of cancer among under 50s in Gibraltar. The government's MOT monitoring moves to the Upper Rock. And 6 macaques are tracked via GPS collars for research. Good evening. In the latest statement on the Upper Rock, the government has hit back at the GSD, saying the site generated over £70 million in revenue over the past year. The opposition has questioned who is receiving what from the £1 million generated by Upper Rock ticket sales and on what terms.
The government says by increasing ticket prices for non-residents and introducing modern visitor management systems, revenue for the nature reserve has increased from around £4 million in 2017 to 2018 to over £17 million in the past year. It says the revenue is being reinvested directly into conservation, restoration, maintenance and improved visitor experiences, while still increasing net returns to the government. As for the procurement arrangements, which the government accuses the GSD of continually attacking, it says these have already been fully explained publicly, adding contracts were awarded through a transparent, competitive process to experienced operators working under the supervision of the government archaeologist, the museum and the Heritage Trust. The government says the figures repeatedly quoted by the opposition were voted in Parliament during the budget session and related not only to site investment works but also to the operation of modern ticketing and management systems. Environment and Heritage Minister John Cortes said the work the government is doing is effective and it won't be deterred by the GSD's criticism.
Meanwhile, the Fire and Rescue Service has issued advice as the Upper Rock Nature Reserve enters a high-risk season for fires. This comes ahead of the summer season. According to satellite-based analysis by the European Forest Fire Information System, 2025 saw the most destructive fire season on record. Data shows that over 1 million hectares, equivalent to approximately the size of Cyprus, were ravaged by fires across several EU countries.
The GFRS is calling for extra care and vigilance from now until late October. It says during this period it will carry out weekly inspections in the Upper Rock and report any issues to stakeholders, including Aquagib and the Environment Department. It says this is in line with the Upper Rock Nature Reserve Fire Emergency Response Plan. The GFRS is calling on the public to follow its advice. This includes respecting no smoking signs in areas and never discarding lit cigarette ends, no lighting fires outdoors, no fly tipping, and no littering, especially glass. Reporting overgrown vegetation to the Department of the Environment and not carrying out any barbecues in public without prior authorization. There's also specific advice for Upper Rock residents. They are told to ensure they have a safety zone around their property with no combustible materials like wood, debris or dry vegetation. They should have a garden hose and extinguisher and an escape plan. The Fire and Rescue Service says if you see a fire, you should evacuate and call them immediately on 999. For more advice, you can email firesafety@gibfire.gi or call 200 729 36.
Well, contractors on the east side are working day and night to ensure all the east side infrastructure works are completed before the beach season starts this weekend. There are currently a number of one-way systems with temporary traffic lights set up along Sir Herbert Miles Road, the access road to Catalan Bay and Bothwells.
It's beach season, and this year it's beach season sooner than ever, by 2 weeks in fact. The government has promised that all the usual facilities, accessibility features, bathrooms, lifeguards, everything will be in place by this Saturday. But the wider question is, with all the infrastructure works going on around the East Side project, how accessible will the beaches be by road? And we're going to try and get some answers for you today.
The people doing the works on the east side, everything is back Macmillan, are going to step up their work and start working night shifts for 7 days. to get the works done over by Kathleen Bay Road.
Just interrupt there. We are keen to do this before the summer, so it doesn't interfere with the rush to the beach. So, yeah.
Okay, so this will be the closure every evening, in the nighttime only. During the day, there will be traffic lights working in the area, and at nighttime it will be completely closed off from 9:30 until 7 a.m. Every day, with the intention obviously is to finish off these works once more in that area, as Minister said, before the summer comes. And the top priority in all our meetings the past 3-4 months has been all about ensuring that the beaches are fully accessible when the bathing season comes. Again, this is the final push to make sure that actually happens.
The nighttime route for Caledeños and residents of both worlds will have to be the long way around Europa Point. I mean, it's a small price to pay for us getting all the inconvenience done more quickly rather than taking longer. There'll be some more works need to be done, but there will be no works during the summer. There's going to be some disruption in the first couple of weeks with one set of traffic lights, not two as there are now, but by the main summer season, if we have to suspend works, I say we, it's another group of people doing it, but the works will be suspended, so we don't interfere with the beaches.
One of the main problems that Sandy Bay users always complain about is the lack of parking, and with these porter cabins installed in some of the parking bays, that has been exacerbated. But technical services have promised that they will be removed by the start of the beach season. In fact, one's already gone. There's only one left.
Non-melanoma skin cancer is the most common type of cancer among under 50s in Gibraltar. Figures provided to GBC by the GHA shows it accounted for more than a third of cancer cases in people aged between 20 and 49 in the 4 years leading up to December 2025. Breast and gynecological cancers each made up just under 14% of cases, while urological cancers accounted for almost 11%. Bowel cancer were the fifth most common, making up 4.6% of cases.
In total, 65 cancer cases were identified in people under the age of 50 between January 2022 and December 25. The figures were provided by the GHA in response to GBC questions. They show a sharp rise in cases between 2022 and 2023, with the number of people diagnosed increasing from 3 to 21. However, the health authority says this is most likely down to improved data collection and reporting processes, particularly within dermatology services, rather than a real increase in cancer cases. The government says these figures should still be treated with caution because of the relatively small number of cases and the evolving nature of the database. Internationally, there's been growing concern over rising rates of bowel cancer in younger people. However, data locally suggests Gibraltar is not seeing a significant increase in this area. Early last year, the GHA said it was considering lowering the bowel cancer screening age to people over the age of 50 as opposed to 60, bringing Gibraltar in line with the UK. Specialist colorectal nurse Lindsay Rainford says this is something she is passionate about.
So sub-60, we do see cases of that, and not huge numbers, but enough to say that actually we should be doing something a bit more. And there are discussions being had. Our surgical team are really passionate about that as well. A lot of our colorectal surgery is done here in Gibraltar by our surgical team. We don't outsource a lot of those procedures or those operations to the UK, but the ones that we need to are the upper GI, the esophageal and gastric, and some of the other more complex cancers.
Lindsay says there have been 11 esophageal cancers diagnosed locally in the last 18 months, a figure she says is probably higher than they're used to seeing.
Sometimes if you've got people that might have moved here or not from here originally, those numbers might not represent the population. However, obviously the most important thing is that people symptoms, if they get symptoms of reflux, it's not settling down, indigestion, kind of taking lots of over-the-counter remedies, these are things that you want to see a GP as soon as possible for, so to make sure that you're not missing some of these signs, and you can get investigated and potentially treated with those. And the same with the bowel cancer screening and things like that. It's kind of as a background, bowel cancer screening, really important to send those things off and be very aware of any symptoms.
Early diagnosis remains one of the most powerful tools in the fight against cancer.
In other news, 2 people have pleaded not guilty to violent disorder following a public order incident in January involving 4 individuals. 42-year-old Kyle Gonzalez and 39-year-old Jolene Gonzalez appeared before the magistrate's court and denied the charge. 2 others, 22-year-old Ben Brown and a 16-year-old juvenile, failed to appear. They are charged with violent disorder and common assault. Stipendiary Magistrate Charles Bonfante issued warrants for their arrest and adjourned the matter to the 23rd of June. Well, the government's campaign to ensure all motor vehicles have a valid roadworthiness certificate has now moved to the Upper Town. So far, 53 vehicles parked on the public highway in the Calpe and Willis's Road area have been identified as not having a valid MOT, although some are believed not to belong to residents there. Owners are advised to check their roadworthiness certificates and to make the necessary arrangements for testing. Alternatively, they can request for the vehicle to be disposed of through the government website. Vehicles without a valid MOT will be removed as from next week. Anyone with a booked MOT appointment should display the confirmation clearly on their windscreen to avoid their vehicle being removed. And the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Department has launched a new integrated IT system called Polar Bear, which aims to modernize, streamline and consolidate the full ranges of DVLD services. According to the government, the system has been specially designed for Gibraltar and is the most significant technological upgrade introduced by the DVLD in recent years.
The Ministry of Transport and the DVLD described the new Polar Bear IT system as state-of-the-art and a major step forward in improving efficiency, accuracy and customer service. It integrates all core departmental functions including vehicle registration, driver licensing and renewals, roadworthiness and compliance records, penalty points, MOT bookings and reminders. Visiting the DVLD offices, Transport Minister John Cortes said Polar Bear has been a major investment in the modernisation of public services. The new system is also expected to enhance data security, improve administrative responsiveness and reduce processing time. This upgrade, says the government, ensures that the public service continues to evolve in line with best practice and public expectation.
You're watching GBC News. Still to come, the ESG raises concerns about a palm oil spill in the port of Algeciras. 6 macaques are tracked via GPS collars. Over 1,000 visitors attend the Convent Garden Open Day. And St Joseph's Football Club gets a new head coach. We'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back. The government says plans for the new Community Mental Health Hub will be submitted to the Development and Planning Commission at the end of the month. The move to Sir Joshua Hassan House was first announced in March last year.
Number 6 says the plans for Sir Joshua Hassan House, which will house the Community Mental Health Team, are now at an advanced stage. It says the services planned at the new hub will include occupational and talking therapies, drug and alcohol rehabilitation, the PATH initiative, GP support and housing outreach. There'll also be alternative therapeutic activities such as walking and reading groups, gardening and yoga, and a chatty cafe to alleviate loneliness and social isolation. The government says the plans have come about with effort and input from the Mental Health Board and the Community Mental Health Team Development Board, as well as mental health professionals, the GHA executive team, unions and members of the wider community. It says the facility is intended to support Gibraltar's evolving model of care by bringing together a wide range of services focused on overall well-being, recognising the importance of both mental and physical health in long-term recovery and prevention.
The environmental safety group says it's concerned to hear about a palm oil spill in the port of Algeciras. According to reports in the regional press, around 22,000 litres of palm oil was spilled into the sea while a container was being unloaded. The ESG says authorities throughout the bay are urged to monitor marine and bird life for potential impacts. It says while palm oil is not as toxic as diesel, it understands large quantities can affect coastal ecosystems. Well, 6 macaques are being tracked via GPS collars as part of ongoing research to inform their long-term management. Master's student Lillian Hawkins is leading the collaborative study between the university and the Environment Department, with the macaque management team facilitating the process of collaring the monkeys. Vet Mark Bizarro spoke to Kellyanne Borge. She asked him what the team hopes the research might reveal.
We suspect where they go and where they sleep, etc., but we never have concrete proof because after the sun goes down, it's very difficult to track where they are. So, we expect them to be in cliff faces, but, the last survey which we did many years ago, that showed movements which we didn't expect. So that's what we're hoping, and maybe we'll see more interaction between different groups, because you don't follow the animals 24 hours a day. You just have, little windows of where they are, etc.
You mentioned that there might be some surprises. Are there patterns that you're expecting to see as a result of this study?
Yes. We expect them not to veer too far from their main sites. We've got 7 packs, so therefore they're very limited from the areas they can go to. Obviously, the stronger packs tend to push other packs away, so that gives indication of what will happen. Cable car pack is bigger than the ape's den one, so there's a possibility that any movement of the cable car pack might just push the other pack to other areas. It's a dynamic system. It's not fixed. That's why people don't appreciate the idiosyncrasies of their movements or the actual interaction of packs, which actually causes movement in itself.
You mentioned with this study in particular, Lillian Hawkins from the university is leading on that. So how have you worked alongside her?
Well, basically my team, myself, we sedate the macaques, and we provide the raw materials so she can apply the collar. The good thing about collars, they last 4 months and then they drop off on their own.
Over 1,000 visitors attended the Convent Garden Open Day today. The annual event offers an opportunity to the general public not only to see the gardens, but also to sample the convent's very own marmalade, as well as a selection of homemade treats. All proceeds from the Garden Open Day go to charity.
The convent gardens are home to a wide variety of trees and flowers, and the weather for this year's Open Day couldn't have been better. On Gibraltar Today, we spoke to Alan Brownbridge from Green Arc. He's been working on the convent garden for 35 years.
This year we've got a vegetable plot. Yeah, we've got all sorts. We've got the summer crops or late spring crops. We're going to get some more crops in. Some of them already have been picked, so I'm looking forward to that. It's quite interesting.
Every year, the Convent Committee selects different charities who benefit from donations and money raised from food and drink sold at the Convent Garden event. This year's chosen charities were the Citizens Advice Bureau and the St Vincent de Paul Society, both of which were represented at the event. Some of the highlights of the convent garden, of course, the dragon tree behind me, which was planted back in 1484. It's actually the oldest living specimen of dragon tree since the species was discovered in the Canary Islands. Another highlight, the convent marmalade. We were lucky, we got one of the last pots. They sold out by about midday today. And another highlight this year, a wedding party who told Gibraltar Today about their historic link to the rock.
The main reason we got married here is that my dad used to be in the army, and he was Batman to the Governor of Gibraltar. And my mum, who's from La Linea, lived across the road in Main Street. And that's how they met. They used to wave to each other through the window.
And very lucky that you've basically been allowed to come and take photos at the gardens as well?
We asked the governor, and then we went upstairs to see where her father was, waving through the window.
My dad used to work in the kitchens, and so he let us go up to see. So we've had some nice photos upstairs as well, so it's lovely. It's just made it all more special.
Oh, it has.
Yeah.
Our congratulations to Rose and Joe. For those who had the privilege of visiting the gardens, this was definitely an opportunity to see it in its full springtime splendour.
Javi Munoz has been appointed St. Joseph's Football Club head coach. The former Lincoln Red Imps football coach has spent the last season with the Spanish team UD Caravaca. St. Joseph's chairman Mike Garlick said he believes Javi's strategic vision fully aligns with the club's ambitions and values. He adds the appointment represents much more than a managerial change and reflects the club's continued commitment to building a sustainable, ambitious and professionally driven football project capable of delivering long-term success both domestically and in European competition. Javi Munoz looks forward to the challenge, saying the first objective is to ensure the bond between the players is as strong as possible. He asks the club's fans to give the players their full support. Well, that's all from the GBC News team for now. Don't forget, you can always catch up on our website. And in case you didn't make it, we leave you with some images of a beautiful day at the Convent Garden. Enjoy your evening.